What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the G Show with Justin and Cyrus. Of course, we are reviewing every single day of the G1 Climax 30. Boy, oh boy, Cyrus, these next two cards, I don't think we're going to spend a lot of time on this. This might be quite a short episode.
Yeah. We were talking about Tony Hawk on the last one, and I would just like to call these two episodes the Downhill Jam. Because like we were really high at the start, we were really enjoying it at the start, and then like it's sort of just going through the motions where New Japan is like kind of becoming the New Japan of old, which is just something that I'm just truly not. I don't want that anymore.
You're not into it. You're not into it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not into the New Japan of old. So it's weird adjusting back to like what it was like pre-COVID, and it's just like maybe New Japan wasn't always that fire a couple years ago.
Well, I can't agree with that. I think that at its power, at its highest power, and that being like 2015, 16, 17, 18, you'd be hard pressed to find a better product. But again, as wrestling evolves, as things like the G1 evolve, obviously a lot of their spots and a lot of their style is co-opted into America now. So, I mean, we see these types of G1 matches with women. We see them with men. We see them, all over the place. Like the quality of a good match is kind of like, it's still there, but I think we see so much good. I think we're spoiled with greatness on everything. Whether it be WWE, AEW, New Japan, we're spoiled with greatness. Like, look at us. Like last Sunday, we had what night 5, and then we had Clash of Champions the same day. Like if we saw these two cards on the same day in 2017, we would have a different view of it. Like we would be giving a lot of scores like that were crazy, but we're just so used to it. And I think with the G1, maybe you correct me here, like when you say the New Japan of old, you're saying like a New Japan that's like literally stuck, that's in that 2016, 2017 mold of really long matches. That are really less on storytelling in a lot of them. And I think you see that a lot, and I know that there's stories that they're telling, but there aren't
it's less subtle.
Way less subtle.
Like when we were talking about Tanahashi, like really truly fighting from the bottom, that is like something that you don't see that when you're watching the match. That's like where like I would say like the interpretation of it, like you would do with art, that's where it kind of comes in. And New Japan is a lot of that, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Let's get right into this. We are actually going to be releasing this episode with our last episode the same day. So this is perfect for everyone who wants to quickly catch up. So that's why I don't want to completely go over every single card, but we have we have our thoughts on the card. So we're going to go through the A block of night 7 and the B block of night 8. What we should do today for this show is just kind of quickly run through the card, of course, but really just give our favorite matches. And I think I just want to go from the top to the bottom. Night 7 was a pretty stacked card. You had Ospreay and Jay White, and you had the main event of Ishii and Shingo. What stood out to you on night 7?
Night 7, I would say that probably Jay White and Ospreay for me. I really did enjoy that match, and just like a close second, surprisingly, it's not Shingo. It would be Taichi versus Okada, and just solely for the one spot where the money clip actually worked for me, where I thought it was actually where the move actually looked cool, where Okada applies it, Taichi sort of is breaking out of it, and then Okada does a backbreaker and then applies it again. Stuff like that, it works for me, and I like that a lot. And that's probably one of the few highlights I have of this night. 7.
Yeah, and again, a lot of shakeups, a lot of like long overdue losses that were taken. Of
Mhm.
course, Jay White took his first loss to Will Ospreay. I would say that I was a little bit disappointed by this match. I think we were both looking forward to it a lot, and I think that I don't think they wanted to give away too much, so that means that we didn't get a lot.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And this being, I'm highly big fan of Jay White. So this being his first loss and it's sort of like a lackluster match for me, it felt But I brought up something that was just like, what happens if, they both manage to get a certain amount of points and then they have a rematch for the finals? Do we get a better match there? Like, we have to, right?
Yeah, you would have to. But I think at that point, Ospreay he would own the tiebreaker. So no, I don't think we would get the rematch there. It would be strictly on ranking at that point. So it would be, Ospreay has lost once. Jay White's lost once.
Somebody would have to get a draw at some point to get the rematch.
And they've been teasing a draw a lot this year, especially in Naito Tanahashi matches. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine one of the two are going to get a draw very soon, but it would have to be on the A block side. It would have to be Okada or someone grabbing a draw there. We're starting to see it clear up a little bit and see like who's about to get a push and who's about to really like make a run for it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that like comes out. How that comes out in the next week or so, but I just found myself like, it wasn't like the best, but I'm pretty sure we'll get 100 matches like this between these two in the next couple of weeks. You also had Jeff Cobb versus Ibushi. Man, Jeff Cobb, jobber to the stars. He's effectively out of the tournament at this point. Yeah,
and you reach, like, for me, you kind of reach like jobber status when you lose to a move that is normally a transition into the second gear of a match. So I think he just takes on like once. Like, I don't even think he does like one Kamagoye.
Yep, lost the one,
and it was like, and the match was over. Like it ended just like that. Yujiro and Suzuki. Do we even have to talk about that? I don't wanna.
No, we don't. We're gonna move on. Okay. But night 7, obviously you need to check out Ishii versus Shingo. Very long match. I thought that they brought the violence level, but to me, I couldn't go over a 4 on it because I just felt like there were a lot of contrived spots that we see like all the time. Like it was. And again, it's following tropes of New Japan.
It's just a standard New Japan match. It just like runs through the motions, and I like Ishii and I like Shingo, and I like some of the never open weight championship matches, but this just felt like it was whatever to me. Like, this is when like Suzuki and Goto were having like constant matches, like three times in 1 month. Like, it's whatever.
Yeah. Let's go to night 8, which I think I said last time, night 6 was probably my least favorite night. This is probably my least favorite night so far, is night 8.
Yeah. B block is doing a lot of the worst of the nights, and I was just truly surprised that it beat night 7 because I wasn't too high on night 7 when I first watched it. And then watching it, I was just like, ugh.
We said that night 8 could possibly beat night 7 because we were just like, night 8. We already knew night 7 was going to be the weakest A block night at that point. It just was. Yeah. It just was what it was. There was only two real matches we were excited about at that point. But night 8 starts you off with Yano and Juice Robinson, which I just gave the bed emoji. I'm tired. I'm super tired.
I'm very glad that I put up the ban, and you should accompany me on it, bro. You should.
I gotta watch them all, bro. I gotta watch them all.
I had to do the ban. I'm sorry, and I was iffy because I say a lot of shit and I do it anyway because I got to do it for the show. But I went on Twitter and I saw Juice Robinson hopping around with his feet taped up, and I said, "Yep, I ain't doing it. No."
A lot of comedy, lot of Juice Robinson hopping around doing moves with his feet tied up. Of course, he gets the win, so Yano is no longer undefeated in the B block. We knew this was going to happen. I think I even called it last time. I think this is going to be the loss for Yano. I think Juice has beaten him every single time they've met. So, of course, naturally, he's going to beat him here. So there you go. You got the Yano win. You also had, just a lot of really weirdly paced matches, right? Like Goto, Zack Sabre Jr., that was another match. It just felt like just a regular, it felt like a WWE match. It felt like a WWE match.
Yeah, and it felt like a WWE match that is at like 9:20, Goto losing to Zack Sabre Jr. is kind of like transitional pin, and that would transition to the next gear. So it was so weird. I didn't really expect that.
What bothers me about Goto and his matches in general is that I legit think that he is injured. I really do think he is injured. His matches have been getting shorter. He has been doing a lot less since the G1 started. I think they want to save him for the later matches, but they're still having him rack up losses in the meantime, in the interim. Like, we all knew he wasn't going to win this year, and I think when we saw his shoulder and his arm taped up, we were like, oh yeah, he's definitely not winning this year. It was like a case of like, it's different from like that year, like Nakamura's last year when his elbow was sprained. And he had to like miss a night, and I had never seen that before. I was like, wow, they actually would like let you miss a night of the G1. Like, I thought that was never going to happen, but I just think they need to give Goto a night off. It's not worth it.
Yeah, or let him go early, Yeah. And just wrap it up. But yeah, it's unfortunate. And then you getting your or like a shoulder injury, going against the champion, and then going against the submission specialist, Zack Sabre Jr. next, who was targeting the hell out of that. Like, yeah, man.
Pain.jpg, bro.
Yeah.
And again, like, night 8 was a lot of, again, on the outside of the card, it didn't look like filler to me, Cyrus. I'm gonna be real with you. I thought that Goto Zack Sabre Jr. was gonna be better than what it was.
Like, 2 of my favorites on the roster have that match. I was very sad, but just like, I always felt like the match was gonna go that way, but I thought it would just go longer. And Zack Sabre, so I thought Goto was gonna do GTRs, and Zack Sabre was just gonna go limp like he normally does. But
yeah,
no, they just wrapped it up real quick.
Just didn't happen. We also had Yoshihashi Tanahashi. I know you want to get in your soapbox about this. That's why I wanted to get right to this. With 17 minutes, Yoshihashi going 50-50 with Hiroshi Tanahashi. Again, this is part of Tanahashi's larger goal of, again, you're starting to see the run here. He's at 2 losses. Doesn't want to lose the G1. Doesn't want to be eliminated from the G1 at this point. But you saw a really long match here and a string of really long Yoshihashi matches. Cyrus, what did you feel about this match?
One is just like, I knew there was a problem when Tanahashi was selling for this guy, like, where he is like,
well, he's sold before. He's
bumping like to Tanahashi standards, he's bumping like a madman for Yoshihashi, and I think it's so weird. Like, I've never seen anybody be booked this strong with the trios title. Like, the nothing belt, the belt that everybody's been dunking on for years, and then like he gets it, and now he's like being booked as like this insanely strong dude. And what I'm not liking about Tanahashi for a lot of this tournament is that like he's not being a ring general when he's in with these guys. I felt like the Juice Robinson match that we talked about last time, that match could have went insanely better if he dictated the pace of it, and that goes for the same for this match.
Yeah, I won't say that I hated this match. I'm not gonna lie. I think I gave it the highest score of anything on the card. I just think that, again, we're starting to. It's weirdly paced. Again, like, it's just very weirdly. But I felt as though this could have been the semi-main event, and Evil Kenta could have been before this, because I feel like these shows aren't prepping you for the longer matches. Like, in the G1, it used to be the shorter matches would go on first, and then we get progressively longer. Now you got a long match smack dab in the middle of like Evil Kenta, which I think went how long did Evil Kenta go? Let me check my notes because I actually do timings here. That match went about.
It seemed like a brisk 15.
Yeah, it was around 14 minutes. So and of course this one was a little bit like 3 minutes longer, but again it felt like it was way longer than this. And
yeah, it's because there's a lot of downtime between like sort of spots because they do the sit like the lay down spot a lot. They do the spots where back up, I'm rolling out of the ring, back up, I'll fight you, back up, like a lot of that. And
but then you get a match
of it.
Then you get a match right after that, Evil and Kenta, where they do the exact same thing. Because I mean, they're not rolling around, but you got them still doing the "I'm going to leave the ring for 1 minute" thing. It's just like, all right, stop padding your matches, like especially the heels in New Japan. Stop padding your matches with unnecessary leave the ring spots.
Like that, and the insane ref bump that's in the Evil and Kenta match.
Oh
but
yes,
for Tanahashi and Yoshihashi, I'm just not feeling it. And Tanahashi is not doing any of like. Did he even hit a high fly flow in this match? Like I don't even recall if he did that or not.
He hit 2. He hit 1 to win. It's what won the match.
Like I blinked to miss it, but like I know he does a sling blade relatively a lot in the match. I get that they're trying to legitimize Yoshihashi. It's this type of thing where when you first saw Jinder Mahal getting taken serious, it was like, come the fuck on. And it's like you almost think like there's nothing in the world that would make me take this guy serious. New Japan is really definitely trying very hard to get Yoshihashi over, and I understand they don't know when their whole roster is going to be back, or at least at full 100%. They don't know when they'll be able to get when they'll be able to get people from Europe and people from the Americas that they've been training with that have come over. I understand, and you got to push somebody. I understand that. Like I completely understand, but I just feel like it could be done better. Like if you wanted to, display Yoshihashi in a better light, then why wouldn't you have your ace, one of your best wrestlers, sort of dictate the match and get the best out of him?
Yeah, this is true. Tanahashi beat Yoshihashi here. Sending Yoshihashi way down the ranks. It's not looking too good for him, but he's gonna have about 15 a little bit more 15-minute matches before this is over with. Really quickly, Evil and Kenta. Evil coming out on top here. Of course, Evil was sitting at around 2 losses after losing to Yano the other night. He had to win this one here. I thought Kenta worked his ass off in this match.
Yes, he tried a lot, and I did like that. Tongo was just like kind of hinting that he wasn't going to cheat for him at the beginning. I like that stuff a lot, but the long padded out ref bumps and stuff like that, I was just like, oh, it's Evil, I guess. So
very interesting finish there as well with Evil hitting Kenta with the low blow, not even too sweet in Kenta either, and really treating him like anything less but his bro, and then winning the match. Yeah,
and they're not doing post-match like promos, are they? Because I haven't seen any on the TV.
They are.
Okay.
They are
not translated.
Not from what I've seen. I stopped looking at them after a while. So if there's anything interesting, I'll definitely say it. There's like the Jay White comments from the other episode. I'll definitely say it if there was something of note in them, but not really. Okay,
because like so far Kenta hasn't really said anything about Evil, but I'm surely he's not happy about this. And this kind of feels like Kenta separating himself from Bullet Club, or just like, just not acting, or like, I don't think he's going to get involved in the battle between Jay White and Evil, Yeah.
Let's see. Naito, Sonata. Listen, I'm not a fan of Sonata. As soon as I saw how long this match was about to go, I said, fuck this. They tease another draw here with Naito just to try and, I guess, milk all of the drama out of his first loss. And you have a pretty big back and forth with Sonata. You have the regular Sonata tropes, the moonsaults, the skull ends, the multiple skull ends, things of that nature. What did you feel about this match, Cyrus? It went around 28 minutes.
I text you, man, this match is going long, and you're just like, there's too many Destinos. And I was just like, I haven't even seen one yet. So I was just like, this match has a very long way to go. Naito is definitely the shining light in this match. Like, I think he's doing amazing stuff. Amazing, just the normal praise that we're giving him. It's nice to see how fluid he's moving, and just seeing him back himself. But like Sonata is just like, it's whatever. He's just not entertaining. He's not interesting. I don't like the skull ends. I'm not a big fan of the TKO. And it's kind of same with Yoshihashi. Like, I feel like his matches sometimes go too long, or he shouldn't, or sometimes the match will be paced around him. And I'm just like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I thought there was one really painful looking spot was Sonata doing his own Destino, and I was just like, that one looked.
The painful spot to me is the neck breaker that happens on top of on the top rope, where he like bangs Naito on his knee, and then Naito also falls on the floor, and Naito is just like gripping his skull. I was just like, oh my Lord.
Yeah, it was really, it looked really, really like painful. There was also like that really weird looked like a snowplow. Al Snow's old finisher was like a brainbuster. It looked like it could have really gone bad. It looked like he was about to land. He was Naito was about to like land. It almost looked like Shotzi Blackheart on NXT this week, where she landed right on her neck. It looked like that was about to happen to Sonata, but Sonata wins with 2 moonsaults. Yep, that's how he lost.
Yeah, man, I don't like this match. It was nice to see Naito, do amazing offense in the beginning, but like I think after the usual lay down spot and then the forearm exchange, that's where the match kind of just goes downhill for me. And so far back to back, it does not put a good feeling in my. It don't give me the serotonin, man. I'm not enjoying this right now.
Oh man. Well, rest up, get your serotonin levels back, because we have no new shows until next week. Next Monday, in fact, we have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Thursday. And we got a marathon. We got a marathon week next week. Sorry.
I mean, it's fine, and I think a break is needed.
So October 5th. Well, actually, no. Let me get to the standings right now before we get out of here.
Okay.
We have Kota Ibushi, Will Ospreay. Oh, this is in Block A. Kota Ibushi, Ospreay, Suzuki, Taichi, and Jay White. They're all at 3-1, 6 points apiece. Okada is 2-2 at 4 points. Jeff Cobb, Ishii, and Shingo are 1-3 at 2 points, and Yujiro is at 0-4, 0 points. He's out of there. Let's just be clear. He's out of there. Block B, Naito, Juice Robinson, and Toru Yano are 3-1, 6 points each. Evil, Kenta, Zack Sabre Jr., and Hiroshi Tanahashi at 2-2, 4 points each. And Goto, Sonata, and Yoshihashi at 1-3, 2 points each. So on the 5th of October, we have Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay, main eventing the A block. Tomohiro Ishii and Taichi. Okada versus Suzuki, which is a rematch from their excellent match in London last year. Jeff Cobb and Jay White, and Shingo versus Yujiro. And on October 6th, we have Kenta versus Tanahashi. I believe this is a first-time match, I want to say. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Yoshihashi.
They were in separate blocks last year.
Yeah, they were in separate blocks. So this is the first time here. Yoshihashi versus Tetsuya Naito. Juice versus Evil. Sonata versus Zack Sabre Jr. And Goto versus Yano. October 7th, we have Ibushi versus Shingo, which I'm gonna call it right now. That's probably gonna be the match of the week. Taichi versus Jay White, Ospreay versus Suzuki, Okada versus Jeff Cobb, Ishii versus Yujiro. And October 8th, we have Evil versus Tanahashi in the main event, Juice versus Naito, Sonata versus Kenta, Yano versus Zack Sabre Jr., and Goto versus Yoshihashi. We are more than halfway done with the G1 here.
Right? That's so crazy. But Naito, if he has 3 bad matches back to back, or matches back to back, that's gonna hurt my feelings.
Yeah, we're gonna take the jersey down. You were too preemptive in that jersey toss up.
Hey man, it's not his fault though.
Yeah. Okay, so in case you guys didn't know, you can always subscribe to us at the A Show RNC channel. We have every single episode of the G Show this year up there so far. So actually today we're going to give you like a double header. So we're going to have the reviews for nights 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 all on one day. So you can catch all the way up today and get ready for next week on Monday. I believe, let's look at the calendar here, Cyrus. We're going to do it between shows here. So we're going to do the Monday and Tuesday show, and we'll be back with you on Wednesday the 7th. And then we're going to do those 2 shows, and we'll be back with you on Friday the 9th. So Wednesday and Friday, we'll be back on the G show. Mark your calendars. We're going to be there. So
let me mark my calendar.
So until then, you got a long. I'm so glad about these breaks. I think they work wonders, especially for our scheduling and stuff like that. So so get some rest. Catch up on the G show. Catch up on your G1, and we'll be back at you next Wednesday with the G show. For Cyrus, I'm Justin. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.